That flew by. That was a really quick 10 minutes. But anyway, let's see. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thank you all very much for coming out. Much appreciated. And hello, everybody in chat. Jeff, Lurkers, Food Rules, other people. And of course, the most important person of all is back. Hello, Veronica.
Hello, bag of mostly water.
Good afternoon, Veronica.
Good afternoon, Gimpy, and hello, everyone. Have a great stream.
Jeff, you need to post a picture of your Dwarf shark summer hat.
Our next break is in 1
How
hour.
is restoring the streaming rig going? Slowly. It's amazing how much crap you build up over, close to 10 years of streaming. Well, over 10 years of streaming, actually. But as far as bot stuff and whatever, bot is still being rebuilt. That's taken a lot longer than I thought it was going to take, but that's going to take a while. Veronica is back for the most part. I'm still going through her brain as well to make sure everything's working. I'm not going to say everything is working, but a lot of it is. Well, the important stuff is like hot tub. Hot tub.
Gimpy? Are you getting in the hot tub? It is going to make you sweat.
And of course, because Food Rules needs to know. Hey, Veronica, who is your favorite pet? No. Hey, Veronica, who is your favorite pet?
Not Scout. Because she is gone, and good riddance. She can mooch off other suckers now.
See, she's back. She's back. So, well, she's, like I said, she's mostly back. There's still, I need to go through her brain and see where there's other audio files involved and that kind of stuff. When she says stuff like what she just did, that's all in there. But the sound files, like the music that we just heard, that is, I have to go through and see what's in there. Because there's that. There was also, Mickey says what?
Mickey says rar like this.
And then there's, of course, the important one, too. Rocket says what?
Rocket says rar like this.
Now, again, there's a bunch of stuff like in there that are actually playing sound files. And I have to go through and find those and attach them to the correct sound files and stuff. And making sure the sound files exist when they're supposed to be. So there's that kind of stuff. So I still have to go through her brain, make sure that stuff's done. Like I said, the bot is still a work in progress. That is, it's more complicated because it's a program that is, it's been keeping track of follower or people watching the stream for the last so many years. So there's a lot of files for it to go through. All the commands, of course, like the 8-ball stuff, the different commands, like when you type in, YouTube or whatever, all the automated commands that you see in chat, all that stuff, got to make sure that's in there. Again, it's a lot of work and I don't know how long it's going to take. So, and Scout says nothing because she's not here. Gippy goes, I don't know. Does not know why Vern uses the same sound file for the two different dogs. Yeah, so that's definitely the same sound file. Definitely the same sound file. Let's see, what else did we do? Added the stream alerts to the stream. I don't think I have that back up though for testing purposes. Anyway, so we should be seeing alerts for follows, subs, that kind of stuff on the screen. Because keep in mind, the OBS that I'm running right now is on the gaming rig, and it's the bare bones version of OBS. We're up to, how many scenes am I up to? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 6 technically, but and 5 reality because the 6th one isn't being used. So that's not a big deal. And also that actually technically the 5th one isn't being used quite yet, but it will be probably tomorrow if things don't get back to normal by then. And what that's seeing is it's basically the dog video that you're seeing now. Right now we're just looking strict. It's for reasons because the dog files, the video files, they're different sizes actually, dimensions and whatever, because of the age of the videos. Like this video that you're watching right now, they're like what, not even 2 years old yet. So that video is 14 years old. The camera we're using 14 years ago is not the same camera that we use today, you know. So and the video dimensions are different over the years, and because of that, every time I put up a new video file of, you know, I have what, 12 of these dog intro files now. And they all have slightly different dimensions to them when it comes to the videos themselves because of the age of the videos. And as a result, when you put them in the OBS, when you first put them in, it changes the size. And, you know, so you have to go through and you have to tweak it and all the fun stuff. When you put it into, say, this particular scene, which is the intro scene. But I learned a while back that if you put the videos into their own scene, and then you put that scene into another scene, that particular embedding type thing keeps its size. It doesn't it doesn't change. And so I haven't set that up before prior to today, and even then I only finished it like I only got it set up like 5 minutes before the stream was ready to go, and I just didn't had something else came up and I wasn't able to get it in place. So technically we'll have tomorrow we'll have 5 scenes up and running. So stuff. 12 different updating scenes and bringing in smart images. Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Hey, Ring, welcome back. Was wondering what? I stream. This is my normal time, Ring. You didn't film in 8K all those years ago? No, we did not. 2 different opening scene, dog vid scenes. Sounds like a lot. It's not that much, actually. Considering that they all range in time between, what, 8 to 12 minutes, I think it is. So it's a little bit of time. I mean, it's well over an hour worth of stuff to watch. So it's so much to Photoshop and bringing in smart images. Yeah, yep. You have to. I mean, it's just when you're dealing with, you know, images of different formats and whatever and different sizes, you have to start, you know, jumping through hoops, and it doesn't always work because even then. Well, no, the way that once we get the scene within the scene, it doesn't change anything. But the videos themselves, if you pay attention, some of them are wider than others. So, and that's usually the ones that are used with a different camera or an older camera, like this one right here that we're watching with them jumping on the bed. That's one of the older videos. That's from when they're like, what? They'd been with us. That's probably what, the first week or two. In all honesty, they've only been with us maybe a week or two in this video, and you can see on the sides the big black spots, and that's because this was a different camera. It was an older camera that we used. You know, just pay attention to that stuff, and you notice like this kind of stuff. That's, you know, when the camera was a different one. I feel like this is late, but then again, your schedule and your clock have been completely destroyed. No, it's noon. Unless somebody changed time on me and didn't tell me this, it's noon Pacific, which is normal start time on during the week. Now Sundays is a different story. We start 2 hours earlier, but you're usually not there anyway. You don't usually show up until about noontime anyway on Sundays typically. Sometimes you're there earlier, but usually you're not there until this time of day. So, but no, we're at the right time. Although the 10-minute intro flew by. Oh, and then I was listening to the videos from yesterday with the new mic settings and stuff. OBS is doing something different. They're using a different codec of some kind for noise reduction. And I can tell when the AC is on, as we could before, but it's different. It's a different sound. It's funny using the same settings and everything else, like gain and voice noise gate and that kind of fun stuff. But I can tell when the AC comes on. It's like because the my voice it's not so much my voice, but just the sound in general changes, so you can tell when the AC is on. But it's different than it was a couple of days ago. And I'm trying to, and the only way I can see, the only thing I can see is there's a noise reduction in OBS that I don't think was there before, or it was under a different name and had different settings to it. I think that's really what it was. Well, actually, no. It was the same name, but different parameter. I don't know if parameters is the right thing. Yeah, I guess parameters is, but it's different, and the noise reduction is different. I'm listening to it and I go, damn, that doesn't sound right. But it still doesn't sound. It sounds different and it doesn't sound right, and it's still not right. But you can tell when the AC goes off because everything is just so much smoother, as far as listening to it stuff. Yes, it's magic. It's all magic. Magic, magic, magic. Anyway, stream schedule today: Baldur's Gate. Tomorrow, Wednesday, probably Baldur's Gate. Thursday, probably Baldur's Gate. Friday, Solasta multiplayer with Jeff Hobo and Hurricane. Now that one I got to get set up for because I got to make sure we're ready to go on that for Discord on this the gaming computer. I got to have Discord set up on this because it's not. So if we're going to be doing that, and we want people to actually hear what's being said, we have to do that. So again, I got to get that set up before Friday. Saturday, what am I doing on Saturday? Either X4 or Baldur's Gate. Don't know yet. Sunday should be Baldur's Gate for the first half of the stream, and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous with Viewer Group 9 in the Treasure of the Midnight Isles DLC. And then monthly giveaways are also this weekend, maybe. Again, it all depends if I can get the bot rebuilt or not, and we're still in the process of doing that. So, and again, if it's not ready, we'll just push the giveaways back. It's no big deal. So, anyway, that it. What else did I do differently? What else did I fix today? Nothing you guys would probably care about, or that's not. It's relevant to the stream. It's not really relevant to the stream. It was basically just making sure I was just downloading more files. In all honesty, just down. It's amazing how many files are related to the friggin' bot. It's stupid, but it's taken a long time, and it doesn't help that Google does not do a structured download. It's like it randomly pulls stuff from directories. It's like, in the Google Drive directory, that's what it's called. And, I have Twitch and images and videos all, broken out into different things. And then say the Twitch directory has, subdirectories as well. And I'll say, okay, download the Twitch directory, and it will, but it doesn't grab everything for some reason. For some reason, it only grabs whatever's on the screen at the time. So if it takes too long for stuff to show up, it doesn't get grabbed when you tell it to download. So I have learned now that I have to actually, go to, say one of the directories and go, okay, make sure everything is here. Go, okay, everything's here. It's loaded. Now download it. Because if I don't do that, it won't always grab everything, which is friggin' annoying. Because I'll download something, I'll go through the files and go, there's shit's missing. There's stuff missing here. I know there is. And, and I go through and I'll go compare it back to what's actually up on the internet. And it's like, yep, it's not there for some reason. It didn't get grabbed. And I don't know what it does, but it's not doing a structured download stuff. It's just going grab. And, if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't, that's okay. We're putting it into another zip file, maybe, that kind of deal. And it's annoying. It, again, not very structured. So I'm having to be structured. I've actually had to set up a file, a text file. Now it's like, okay, this is the directory I'm working on now. This is what we're downloading today. And, and it's just, and that's, I think it's the only way it's going to work. It's like, I feel like I'm back in the early 90s or mid 90s when I had to do this crap. It's just like, such a pain. Such a pain. Why can't it be easy? Why can't I just say, sync it and go? Anyway, pain in the ass. I feel like I'm actually working. Mrs. Gimpy can't understand why I've been stressed for the last 2 days. I'm trying to explain to her, I'm rebuilding a hard drive. And she just looks at me and I go, you have no idea what that means. I know. But it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass. At least I don't have to use commands. I might as well be. In all honesty, I might as well be, and I might actually be faster. If I could, I think it'd be easier if I could use commands. Just type stuff in, and I think it would be faster. Because right now it's, it's just do you just like I said, you go into the browser and you go, okay, got to make sure everything's here. Select all the files and download, and then you have to wait for them to get zipped up, and then they get downloaded to, or they get sent to your browser for downloading, and then they get sent to your hard drive for extraction support stuff, and they all have their own little 2 GB zip files, and then you have to unzip those and put those where they're supposed to go, and yeah, I'd almost like to have commands. I think it'd be faster. Skimpy having to put up with Grumpy Gimpy. I know. Hey, my sub goal is met. 60 of 60. I thought I was at 62 of 60, but that's okay. This is what we love about the live Twitch sub stuff. Is it fluctuates from day to day. How many subs I actually have. Like I'm looking at my Twitch dashboard, and it says I have 61 of 60. Yet it just flashed that I have 60 of 60s up at the top of the window, at the top of the chat window. There, it's like, what the hell? Be consistent, Twitch. But again, that's just the way it is, so it's funny. Anyway, we should get going, huh? When is there a multi hard drive RAID setup that made one to two copies of dedicated drive? There's there are RAID setups that you can do. There's different types. There's the mirror setup, which is basically just a 1-to-1. One drive is just basically, both drives are just mirroring each other, making sure they're consistent, and that's that way. But there's other ways where you have to have multiple. You have multiple drives, and the data is shared across the three of them, or how many you have. Usually, it's a minimum setup of 3. And again, I'm a little rusty on this. I haven't had to do it in a long time. But the way that RAID setup works is you basically have, like I said, you have, for example, 3 hard drives. So say each one's a gigabyte in size, and then your total storage is 1 GB because it's actually spread out between the 3 of them. And the general idea, or is it 2/3? I forget. But apparently, general idea is you can lose data on one, and the other 2 pick up the slack. And if you have the right hardware and stuff, you can do hot swaps where, say you have a drive failure in one of them, you just pull it out, put a new one in, and it starts syncing up with the other 2 automatically, that kind of stuff. And there's different RAID setups. That's 2 of them. I think there's a third one, but I forget what that one's called. So, and manufacturer specific schemes, of course. More drives, more resilience. Yeah. Yeah, that's generally the way. Like the mirror setup is the first RAID system, and it wasn't that great. It was better than one hard drive because if one failed, you at least had a backup. But it still wasn't that great because it's only the 2, and it wasn't very fast, and the redundancy wasn't very good because, again, only 2 drives. But once you start introducing more hard drives in there, the data gets spread out a little bit more. But you need more hard drives to basically have the same amount of storage, because I think it's not a straight 1/3, right? It's like only 2/3 space. If you have 3 drives, you get 2/3 of space that you would get if you had all 3 individual, something like that. I can't remember. 1, 5, 6, 10 most common. Again, I've been forever since I've had to do this stuff. Yeah, and the RAID types. Yeah, like I said, it's been a while. Like I said, I haven't had to worry about RAID stuff since the 90s. In all honesty, I haven't dealt with it since the 90s. So, so I'm trying to put that all back together on the fly. But anyway, and yes, RAID's been around that long. So don't go, oh, that can't be right. No, RAID's been around since what, early 90s, late 80s, something like that. That whole setup. I know they've introduced different types, and again, it's all manufacturers have done their own types of deal too. The biggest thing was hot swapping. When a drive fails, you just pull it out, put a new one in, everything's no problem. You don't even notice it happens. So that'd be a nice setup to have here, but unfortunately, that's it's a power drain too. It takes up space, generates heat, sucks up electricity, that kind of fun stuff. So it's something you usually don't put in your home. Most people don't. And then commercial cloud solutions that would clone your hard drive fully in real time. Uh, Google actually does that. It's just how much do you actually want done? I mean, you can if with enough Google. I mean, Google does it. Amazon's got it set up. Microsoft's got something. Everybody's got something as far as the full time, real time backup stuff. That's a thing. Google had, like I said, Google has basically two options for free, up to a certain amount, a separate amount of storage. One is it basically looks at your hard drive, copies it up to the cloud. And then there's another version where it's same general idea, where you send files up to the cloud and you can pull them down in real time to your hard drive if you want them. And it basically syncs between the two of them. So you do something on your hard drive, it goes up to the cloud, you're ready to go, and then you can go to the cloud from any other device and pull them off that way. Of course, the other backup system works the same, but the one I was just talking about is faster. And again, it's free. And bugs hate RAIDs too. Yes. In RAID 6 for backs up, one dies, swap out the drive, and the array writes based on the redundancy in the other three. Yep. But like and with the Google stuff, it's like if you have, you they give you free, I think 1 terabyte these days, or somewhere, or is it half a terabyte they give you free? Um, and you can pay them, I think I pay what, $10 a month for 2 terabytes total, something like that. And so I could put my whole hard drive out there if I really wanted to. I just choose not to, but I probably should. So, and you just basically run the whole hard drive and, just have it sync up to the cloud type deal. So, and that's real time. So you just got to remember to keep the software running. That's all. That's the trick, is you keep the software running for the cloud stuff. So it knows where to look, and, it's actually doing something. But yeah, that's available for Cruise. That's available. It's just a matter of doing it. And I'm really thinking about doing it, to tell you the truth. Putting all my data related stuff into a slightly different setup. I need to test it first. Such a solution, having fiber would be useful? Yes. Yes. Well, it's not so much data transfer. It depends on what you're doing. Because most people only put stuff up in the cloud for storage purposes. Your average typical person, I'm not saying businesses and that's something different. That's a different requirement for what they're doing. But a typical person, you're just sitting at home and all you want to do is back up your pictures, your receipts, maybe a movie or two, something like that. That doesn't need fiber, because you're usually only touching those files every now and then. It's not a constant, exchange of data there. So just use an external hard drive for stuff I care about. I think you're due for maybe, yes, and that's why we have the cloud, is for when hard drives fail. So but and that's the thing too, is data transfers. You have to be careful especially if you're on a ISP plan that has, they limit you to how much data you have, or how much data exchanges you can do. You got to be careful of that, because I know some people have that. We do, technically, or do we? We don't know. See, that's the thing. Right now, we don't know if we have unlimited data download or not, because we have one part of our bill says one thing and the other part of the bill says another. And one of them says unlimited and the other one says we're limited to 1.5 terabytes or something like that of downloads every month. And it's just like, okay, which one's true? We don't know. And the only way we're going to find out is, we go over and see what happens. Another day for all our fires. And guess what happened? Somebody hit it with a hammer. No, we're purposely not giving them a call, Jeff. We're going to let them call us. If there's a problem, they're going to call us, and then when they call us, we're going to say, it says on the bill unlimited right there, and we'll point it out to them. And if they say, well, over here it says you're limited, and I'm going to say, guess which one we've been going off of for the last 20 plus years? Because you guys changed the rules on us and never told us. So, ha. So, screw you. And if you did tell us, could you show me the documentation, please? Because we don't have it, and they won't have it either. So, after a 2 hour wait. Yeah, see, it'd be fine. It fell and shattered. Really? Wow. You need documentation. I know. What's the point of backing stuff up if you don't need documentation? I document everything these days. Have been for years. That's why I was so annoyed when the drive died, because there's a lot of documentation in there. Oof. It's fun. I've been going through, all the directories and going looking at the files and stuff, and I go, hey, I remember when that happened. I remember this. It's from like 15 years ago. Anyway, we should probably get started. I've been talking for about a half hour. Okay, so let me get up and running here. Just a second.